another YouTube video, and on today's video, guys, we are going to be doing the well-desired president's tier list that I put up a poll for, and I'm very, very excited to do this. I did do kind of like a practice take one time, and the video went pretty long, so my plan this time around is to just give a short explanation and kind of just disregard any political, disagreements with like where the presidents go on this tier list or whatever. But I'm just going to try to do any of the presidents that I know and that I recognize by face. And there is quite a big range of tiers, especially on this tier list, at least. So I wish it was just S, A, B, C, D, E, F. This one has like a whole bunch of them that are just kind of unnecessary in my opinion. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to try to make all the explanations pretty short, disregard, any political views, and just try to make it really short and concise for you guys. But some announcements that I need to make. I will be trying to release a couple of gameplay videos this week, and a stream comp is definitely desired for the future. I would like to gather a whole bunch of clips and make a longer stream comp than usual. I think that would be very fun. And on Thursday, if I do get my package that day, I should, I will be making my unboxing video for fan mail from Halloween Night from the Discord server. Speaking of the Discord server, the link will always be in the description of every video, so make sure you join that and read the community post for information. I think that's all of the announcements that I need to make. I won't be very busy this week because I don't have any Tiger Rocks, so I'm taking advantage of that, and I'm going to make as many videos as possible. So let's get on to the tier list. Alright, so I kind of did a few test runs, like I said, and I finally just decided to kind of set it up before I do it so that I didn't have to like move them around. And I made sure I included everybody that I thought was kind of important and it was at least somewhat recognizable. But I did leave out, for the most part, all of the really forgettable presidents that nobody really talks about. And now that I think about it, I'm thinking of some, and I really wish I put them in there, but then again, it's just like, it's going to make it more confusing. So let's shoot up all the way to the S tier. I have 3 people in the S tier. I have George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Abraham Lincoln. Obviously, we have a few of the founding fathers up here, Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, which they helped out with, of course, the U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Some could even argue that Thomas Jefferson was better for creating the Louisiana Purchase, which helped with westward expansion very, very greatly. That was one of the bigger steps because it was just such a big chunk of land. And then, of course, Abraham Lincoln helped with the Emancipation Proclamation, which pretty much disencouraged and slowly turned down slavery. I mean, by the 20th century, slavery was pretty much obsolete. They all really deserve a good spot in the S tier. Down a level in the A tier, we have 2 people, James Madison and John Adams. These are 2 very, very underestimated presidents that not a lot of people talk about. And after doing research, you'll find that both of these played a pretty significant role. In fact, James Madison was one of the more important framers of the U.S. Constitution. And John Adams helped significantly with the American Revolutionary War and pretty much ended the American Revolutionary War. So 2 pretty underestimated presidents. In the B tier, we have quite a bit of people. First off is Ulysses S. Grant, he's on the $50 bill, in case you didn't know him. Ulysses S. Grant pretty much sealed the deal for slavery after Abraham Lincoln took office. There was somebody, he was the 18th president, but there was somebody in between Abraham Lincoln, which we'll talk about later, but he served for a pretty short amount of time, and this allowed Ulysses S. Grant basically to take over what Abraham Lincoln did and put in a good, kind of a good accomplishment for him in his presidency record. Next up is Dwight D. Eisenhower. who a lot of people, I think, because of like the time that John F. Kennedy was in office, I think a lot of people suspect that he played a pretty good role in the Civil Rights Act. But actually, Dwight D. Eisenhower was one of the people who helped with the Civil Rights Act, along with Lyndon B. Johnson, who he was kind of like the Ulysses S. Grant of the Civil Rights Act. He also sealed the deal for Civil Rights Act. So both of these two were involved in that. And then John F. Kennedy, we all know him. He was one of the biggest space guys for the United States. He was he was very much anticipating getting a man on the moon. So it was a big accomplishment for us in the space race in the 1960s. And you gotta love John F. Kennedy for that. And then we have Franklin D. Roosevelt. No, that's Theodore Roosevelt on there. I'm just going to kind of put these two together, Franklin D. Roosevelt and Theodore Roosevelt. They both helped with economical problems and as well as military problems. They helped expand and strengthen the military, especially the Navy. And I believe it was Franklin D. Roosevelt who actually basically influenced a new amendment because he served 3 terms. It was either Theodore or Franklin D. Roosevelt. I can't remember. I think it was Franklin because he was the later president. But one of these guys actually influenced one of the amendments, which was no president can serve any longer than 2 terms, which is a very, very critical amendment that was very, very much needed so that we're not turning into Russia here. And the last person in the B tier is James K. Polk, another underestimated president and not very much talked about, especially for being an earlier president. James K. Polk helped greatly in the westward expansion, much like Thomas Jefferson, but he did different land areas, and some people might find it controversial, especially the land that he was claiming. He was involved in the Mexican-American War, so, I could see why some people find that a bit controversial, but we have one person in the B- tier, which is Herbert Hoover. I put him a little bit above the modern-day presidents, which will be in the next tier, but Herbert Hoover was president during the Great Depression, so he did help with that and a few other things that I forgot, but I thought that he deserved a spot a little bit above some of the modern day presidents that are below this. This tier list, whoever made this tier list really stretched out some of the tiers. I mean, there is a whole crap ton of tiers on here. But anyways, in the C+ tier are some of our modern day presidents, recent presidents. We have Barack Obama and Donald Trump in the same tier, in the C+ tier. They both helped with kind of minor acts that is to be expected with the modern day presidents nowadays. They didn't really help with anything super, super major, but they're not forgettable either, by any means. So both of them are going in the C+. To the next level, we have 2 people in the C tier, which is Andrew Jackson and George W. Bush. Now, George W. Bush is obviously another recent president, but the thing that kind of screwed over George W. Bush was his foreign policy, especially with the 9/11 attacks. I'm sure a lot of people were like, oh yeah, we're going to get this revenge and we're going to solve this problem, but it's really just created more issues in the long run. So enough said about George W. Bush. And then Andrew Jackson, who destroyed the National Bank, which was very, very great for our economy. But he also did some other things that not a lot of people were a big fan of, like he created the Trail of Tears for the, God, I forgot what it was freaking called. Okay, I cannot find the name of the act, but he basically forced the migration of Native Americans, which is why a lot of people don't want him to be on the $20 bill anymore. But despite that, he was a significant president either way. It's just, he was one of those presidents that did something that just kind of screwed over the way that people kind of look at him. So now down to the next level, and when I was doing my practice run for these, I had these 2 above these people in the C tier, and I was like, God, why are they above them? So I kind of fixed it a bit, but we have Gerald R. Ford and Ronald Reagan. Some people are fans of Ronald Reagan. Personally, I don't see anything major that he really did. And Gerald R. Ford is a very, very mediocre president who helped with the Watergate scandal, but that was really all he did. And he had a short term. It was only 3 years, I believe. And so short-lived president, very mediocre, and unfortunately just didn't have the time and anything to really strive for that would give him a good accomplishment in his presidency. So down to the last few in the D tier are some of the impeached presidents. We have Bill Clinton, Richard Nixon, and Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson, I was talking about him earlier, was the president in between Ulysses S. Grant and Abraham Lincoln, who did get impeached. So he didn't do anything very significant, and he could have been what Ulysses S. Grant was, but unfortunately he did not get that. And Richard Nixon was obviously involved in the Watergate scandal, and didn't do anything significant either, despite being impeached. Actually resigning before he got impeached. And Bill Clinton, who also didn't do anything significant. Like, at least Andrew Jackson, for doing some negative things, was able to do some positive things as well. But these presidents that got impeached down here just didn't get any redemption at all. And I had to put this last one down here in the E tier, the very, very last tier on this list. I just had to do this one because I thought it was really, really funny. A lot of people don't know this, but there was a president who only served for 1 month, and that was William Henry Harrison, who I believe died of like it was either a stroke or some kind of heart problem or something like that, which a lot of presidents unfortunately ended up happening to them back then. But I just thought it was funny. I had to include this one because it's just, I think it's kind of, obviously it's not funny that he died like that and he wasn't able to accomplish anything, but 1 month is just a major disappointment. So I kind of find that a bit amusing. But that is the tier list. I will put an image on the screen so that you guys can take a look at it and see for yourselves. I tried to include pretty much anybody that was pretty recognizable and did something significant. I'm not going to put in all of the bad ones and not put in like George Washington. I would rather put in the more important ones, talk about them, than waste my time talking about why Grover Cleveland was bad. I mean, Grover Cleveland wasn't that bad, but you get what I mean. So anyway, that is it for the tier list. I definitely shortened it up compared to my other practice runs that I did, so I'm very, very happy, very, very proud. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm glad to get another tier list out of the way. Tier lists are always really, really fun. But other than that, stay tuned for future content. I'm going to be releasing at least 2 gameplay videos. I would like to do one for F13 because we did get some good gameplays in our last stream. And I would like to do one more for DBD on our 4-hour stream that we did last week. That was really, really cool. And then I'm going to get to working on that stream comp. I would really like to put in some funny moments that we've had recently in there. And then we'll have an unboxing video within the next few days. So make sure you read the community post for more information so you can stay up to date and know when these videos are going to be coming out. And the link in the description, there will be a link for the Discord server in the description if you would like to join that. I really, really encourage you. We definitely need some more people, some more fans that can get the talk going in there. And I think you guys would have a fun time down there. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, guys. And I'll see you next time. Oh, just a quick gag. Inspector Gadget. Yeah, I got an Inspector Gadget pop figure. Don't worry about it. And that's why I wore my Funko Pop Target Con shirt, whatever that means. Anyway, end the video.